Okay, everybody should have got 2 sheets. There's front and back. It covers the 4 websites. Just simple little tools that you can use to try to help out with your instruction. The 4 websites are Viewsy, Newsmap, Diigo, and tinyurl. So this first one that you'll see, this is Newsmap, and the website, all the directions are on there. I try to make it as straightforward to understand as possible with arrows pointing to the tabs and the pictures. If you have questions, email me. I'll put this up on SharePoint, or I can attach it to a file and email it to you also. So if you have your computers, you can open them up and try the stuff out as we're doing it. That's fine. And I want to give you guys some time, if you decide to use one of those things, to walk around and help you get it set up. The Diigo thing, I think, is pretty beneficial if you do any projects at all in class, because it allows you to bookmark some stuff and save your bookmarks. So with Newsmap, all it is it's this visual tool that helps you to understand what's going on in the news right now, and it's color-coded. You can select stuff by country, you can select stuff by topic, and it gives you this nice visual summary of what's going on. So here, you can see it's color-coded. We've got green for business, and then these are the heading. The more headings it has, the more related articles it has, the bigger the thing is. So the bigger the thing appears on this page, the more buzzworthy it is right now, essentially. So let's say an application I could use for a geography class would be, let's say a kid has a certain country and they have to do current events on that country. They have tabs up top that they can narrow it down by country. So let's say maybe Wayne in his econ class, the kids do a project where they have to analyze some economic occurrence in the country that they pick. They can narrow it down by country. Let's say that they had Brazil. They could check Brazil, and then they could get rid of everything except business. And then it would come up, and it's narrowed down for what they need. And it provides just this nice little visual summary, like I said, regarding what's going on. So if you come in, even if you're at home, just kind of surfing the web, or in the morning you want to see something about what's going on in sports for your own personal time, you just deselect all this, and then it's all sports. So, because the only one I have selected now is blue, and blue is sports. Okay? So, it's pretty straightforward. Any questions on that one? Newsmap? Okay. The other one that's pretty simple is Viewsy. And Viewsy is just a search engine, like Google, except for it gives you a visual summary of what you've searched for also. And you can kind of just drag over and see what the websites are. So let's say, for example, I were to search for wrestling. Favorite sport of mine, obviously. When that pops up, it'll give you a bunch of different tabs like this, and it does take a little while to load, unfortunately. But once it loads, you just slide the mouse over the top of it, and it'll show you a visual idea of what the page looks like, with a little description of each page as well. So let's say, again, you had a certain thing for a class. Let's say biology class. I don't know what you would do for projects, but they're doing some research for something. They want to try to figure out what some websites are. They can type it in rather than using Google, where you just have the text summary. It'll show you a picture of what all of these websites look like once it gets loaded up. So I run into this problem a lot when I'm researching stuff. I know that I found a website before that was really good, and I can't remember what it was called. If you have this all loaded up, you can scroll over the top and it'll show you what it looks like on the web page, and then it can kind of jog your memory as to what maybe that looked like. Okay? So again, the one problem I've seen with this is, I don't know if it's our network or what, but my computer at home, it's quick. You can see it right away. Here it takes a while to load. Okay? So that's Viewsy. This one, I should stop. Any questions on Viewsy? The search engine. This one I think would save me a ton of time with projects. It's just tinyurl.com. If you see websites, because of the way that they have to write the software to build the websites, it's almost like folders and subfolders and subfolders. So you know, if you're going to attach a file to an email and you have all those subfolders set up, you have to click through each little subfolder to get to it. Website addresses kind of work on that same concept where, let's say it's West Fargo, you have the west-fargo.k12.nd.us, and then there's a backslash and another backslash and a dot and all these long things. With tinyurl, you just go to this website, you copy the long example, the actual web address URL for the really long thing you want in here, and then you can hit Make Tiny, or you can enter your customized one, and it'll make it so it's just tinyurl.com / and then a very short thing. So again, for some projects, let's say I found a specific news story that I really liked. I'll just go to CNN.com right now. Okay, and then let's say we were doing a study on the Postal Service. You see how this is just massive, right? The web address. If you had that written on your board and you told the kids, hey, go to this website, and you had it written on the board, somebody's going to get one of those parts wrong, and it's going to take you a long time to fix it and get them caught up. So instead, all you do is just copy that. So you can right-click and hit copy or Control-C. Then go back to tinyurl.com, paste this in here, and then you can enter in your own custom description. So I'm just going to say tinyurl.com / post office, and then today's date's the 12th, and then hit make tiny. And then now, that is the link for that same article. So rather than having this 76 long character address for that article, now it is shorter, it's 34 characters now.
Can you still use the old one?
You can still use the old one if you want, yep. But it's just a way to, if you have to get the kids to a website real quick, you can write that on your board, link it up there for the day, and then it saves you a bunch of time. Rather than having to go into SharePoint and make the bookmarks or go around and get every kid to have every little part of this right, that would just take a ton of time. Does everybody understand that one then?
Only for the day.
No, it'll save it for a while, because I tried it a couple days later. I don't know if it saves it for a long time.
Do they have to go to Tiny?
To do this,
To do this, they do.
no, the kids, you do to set it up.
Right.
Yep. And then once they're in, they can type this in their browser right away, and it'll open up. Yep. So if I had, again, if I had this http :/tinyurl.com, etc. on the board, they type that in, hit enter, it'll take them to this article. It's a shortened link. And I could have done, but the problem you run into if you do real short ones is maybe somebody else has used that already. So let's say Knodel did English, tinyurl.com/English. There's probably somebody else in the country that's done that already.
Okay.
So it might take them to a different website. Hopefully it's not English gambling or something, I don't know. But it could be a different website. Okay? All right. So the one that I wanted to spend most of the time talking about today was Diigo. One thing that really bothers me with my own personal systems and then also here at the school is, let's say they have to reformat your computer. At the end of the summer they go to do that. If you don't save all your bookmarks, if you're not real careful at doing that, you lose all those, right? Has anybody had that happen before? Or on my own personal computer, I build my own computers. I got a new hard drive, so I had to reformat that and install some stuff, and then I lost a bunch of bookmarks I have. Well, this website allows you to store bookmarks in a manner that is very convenient and easy to access, and then it's online, so you just have it all the time. So that's this Diigo, and this is the one that if you have your computers, you want to follow along, you can. But you just need to, when you go to the first page right away, I'll sign out here. You can see. Okay, you've just joined Diigo, and then it's real common sense to get in on it. You can use your West Fargo email address, and then once you create an account, if this pops up, again, the directions are on there, you can click yes. So you just use your email address for the login. I know what it is. Then here's just a couple of things that I added. So here's the links that I added. And then you can also tag them, and that'll save you some time to remember. Rather than scrolling through everything, let's say I'm looking for a specific current events website. I click on current events because I've tagged it, and then it'll only display the ones that are tagged for current events. So let's say, for example, I wanted to add a new one. Let's say I wanted to add Mr. Okozi's favorite website. I was on it earlier today for current events. Fair and Balanced, right?
That's right.
Fox News. Okay. So I go new bookmark, and then type in the web address here. You can type in a title. So I'll do Fair and Balanced, an ode to Mr. Okozi. Now here for tags, You can tag it with a number of different things that you'd like. So here, just follow the directions there. If you have multiple words, I put in quotations, so current events. I'll put a space, and then news, space. What's another tag for Fox News?
Fair enough.
Okay. Fair and balanced. Now when I hit add new bookmark, there it is right there. And here it says below what the tags are. And then if I were to click on the left now, even though I don't know why it only says 2, but it is there. Sometimes it takes a second to load it. Now it's here. See? So one beneficial way you could do this, you can apply for an upgrade, and I haven't really had a chance to play with this. I learned about it maybe 2 weeks ago. But you can apply for an educator upgrade, which I did, and then you can create these for a class. So let's say that kids were researching something. I do a project on the most influential people in world history. And let's say that for your top 10 people, you had in your top 5, the common top 5 are a lot of religious figures, and then Hitler's up there as well. So let's say Knodel had Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Hitler, and I don't know.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar, okay. And then Rakosi had Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Ronald Reagan, and
Jim Jones.
Jim Jonas. Okay. So you could put in a tag for yours if you're a student and you create an account for the class. Mr. Rakosi could put in a tag that says Ronald Reagan for a website he found. And then if, let's say, Mr. Limke found another Ronald Reagan website, he could add a tag for Ronald Reagan also. So the students are helping each other and kind of snowballing their efforts in their research. So then when they all go in here, they're like, okay, I need an article on, let's say you were doing a project for the Civil War or a specific battle. They could put tags on the specific battles. And then if, like Chris Crick, who was in your class, was researching that, and then I saw, was Alex, another one in the video? Alex was researching it also. They're building the research, they're helping each other. And then they can access this from any computer that has a website. The benefit to this also, like I said, is
It's all web-based.
it's all web-based, so if your computer gets reformatted or whatever, you still have it. Okay? So that's all I got, just those 4 websites, and I wanted to give you guys some time if you wanted to play with this, or any of them, to check it out on your own, and then I can walk around and help you. I went kind of quickly, specifically, because I did want some time for you guys to try these out. Does anybody have any questions? No questions? Okay, try it out, or I can come around and answer any questions if you'd like.
Favorites, simply because it's web-based.
Yeah, and then another problem I'll run into is I work a lot at home on the computer, so let's say I'm doing some research. If I add something to my favorites at home, it's not here at school unless I brought my laptop. But if I added it here, then I can just log into this website and then I have that favorite.
Do you have a specific amount of space you're allowed to use?
I do not know. The professor of the class that I'm taking right now said that she has hundreds of bookmarks on here.
What about,
So-
like, because it said you can add images and stuff, what about, is she added, or you added images?
I have not even tried that yet, so I don't know. No. Again, I literally heard about this probably 2 weeks
So
ago.
students can go to access your account?
No,
They have to have their
No,
own.
but his keywords will pop up.
Right,
yeah.
So if you typed in current events, those websites.
right, so
They-
they have their own.
they could create their own, or you could create one for a class,
That's,
and then they would log in to that class account. So where it said username or email address, you could create a username that says Metcalf US History period 1 or whatever, and then give them the password for that, and they could log in, and everybody in the class could see this and modify it. So, anybody else?
and then you can link it to SharePoint, right?
You could link this to SharePoint, yep. Yeah, so you would just do, with the class link section, the website, and then for the description, you could type in the username and the password for the class period. Yep. Okay. Go ahead, try it out if you want, or whatever. Yeah, Wayne.
With the news map, are you limited to the countries that they offer,
Yes, that's what
or
I
are they
think.
all within the countries of the world?
Right here,
Yep, at the top.
Yeah.
Are you limited to only those that they offer, or is there a way to increase the tabs for the countries?
I think if you do select all, and then I think if you have this world selected also,
Okay.
or maybe even if you, let me try this, deselect.
I mean, like, if we want to look at, say, like Iceland news.
Yeah.
Just,
You know, I don't know how you would get that specifically.
would I just search?
So let's try Iceland and see what happens. I think that it's based on like where the news came from.
Okay.
So, like BBC, for example, in England, they would probably have some information on Iceland.
Okay.
So I think that you would get something, but I don't know.
Okay. Sounds good.
Oh, and this says couldn't find anything for Iceland, so guess not. Well, I have it narrowed down to just sports, and
Right.
so maybe it would be different.
So, like in econ, I want to do an international finance, some type of project with that. If I wanted to do like an African country, like Namibia or something like that.
Yeah.
How would I target Namibia within NewsMap?
Yeah. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
You just have to play with it and see.
Okay.